Hello, today I want to talk about how to stop being poor. And yes, this is a decision that many of us take. Many of us are comfortable being poor and we do nothing about it. So I just want to talk about how we can get out of this comfortable position. I like to start by saying that at one time I was extremely poor. And I soon figured out that this is not a position that I wanted to stay in, so I decided to stop being poor, and so I did. Just to give you a little bit of a background story, I came to Canada as an immigrant. I actually came with a student visa without money to pay for my studies. I had no connections, no language skills, no intergenerational wealth, no education, no nothing. So in order to be able to survive, I took all kind of jobs. I was working as a janitor. I was working as stocking shelf in the supermarket. I was a busboy at the restaurant, and I was taking any low-paying job that I was fine. The only thing of value that I had at that time was my time that was not worth much because I did have many skills. So, but I was willing to sell that time as much as possible in order to invest in myself and in order to get an education and in order to start accumulating wealth. So I started investing in myself. As I told you, I went to school. I took risk. I invested my money in some crazy projects. Many of them worked out. Some of them didn't work out. I practice extreme frugality and I still do, even though I have money now to buy practically anything that I want. I practice extreme frugality. I'm wearing a shirt that is 20 years old, and I'm not wearing it just for this video to tell you about it. If you see any of my Instagram posts or my social media posts, you will see me wearing this shirt often enough, and it's 20 years old. So I don't care what people think. Oh, he's wearing an old shirt. I don't give a F. This is how I make my money, by not spending money. And many of the people who criticize me, they are living paycheck to paycheck. So I just don't care about what other person who may think. I know that I have money in my bank account. I could be without a job for many, many, many months. In fact, I don't need to work anymore. I am doing okay. So, but I still wear a 20-year-old shirt because I learned how to live with extreme frugality. And okay, so next thing, I invested all my money, every penny that I made, I invested it. I educated myself in order how to invest that money. I spent hours reading materials. I don't know how many books I have read. I am still reading books every week on how to invest my money, how to improve myself. And guess what? After 20 years of arriving in Canada without money, without education, without skills, without connections, without language skills, without any of that, I am not longer poor. And no, it didn't take me 20 years, but yes, right now I can say that, yeah, I'm not longer poor. I'm not rich yet, but I am no longer poor. And that is simply because I took that decision. Hey, I don't like being poor. I like to be able to go and visit my family in South America. I don't like to worry about how am I going to pay their rent next month. I don't worry about that. Okay? So I did what I needed to do and I did it, and I'm sure you can do it too. So what happens is that many of us get comfortable with our discomfort. We get comfortable with living paycheck to paycheck, and oh, we cannot do this until I get my next paycheck next month or next week or the next 15 days. We accept poverty as a natural state and simply do not aspire for more. I'm just going to work enough so I can pay my rent and buy some food, and that's it. Not knowing that there is a tomorrow, where tomorrow we may not even be able to work anymore, and we don't want to live on handouts of the government. Yes, we criticize the government, and we think that rich are not paying their fair dues, whatever. But we can do more. We can do things that are within our reach to get out of poverty in order not to depend on the hands out of the government. So yeah, and there are other people who say, oh yes, I want to stop, I'm ready to receive money, I'm ready to become rich, I can do this, I'm ready for this. And they talk about it, they make the plans, they tell their friends, I'm gonna do this and the other thing, and they start spending money as if they were already rich, and they're not there yet. So their income never catch up with their lifestyle, and they stay in this perpetual state of poverty, of living from paycheck to paycheck. Because even if you earn a lot of money, if you are living from paycheck to paycheck, you are in big problem. So what if you say to yourself, like one time I said to myself, I'm sick and tired of being poor. I'm ready to do what it takes. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little story. This is very short. At one time I was operating Airbnb properties. I had at one time up to 5. And there's this woman who said, oh, I'm having financial difficulties. I cannot make ends meet, blah, blah, blah. And she was a nice woman, and I said, well, why don't you help me this weekend? I have some Airbnb properties that I need to be clean, because of course they need maintenance. And then the woman said, okay, well, no, because I already have plans for this weekend with, to hang out with friends or whatever. So obviously this person was not ready to get out of poverty. She was comfortable in her discomfort. For her, going out and hanging out with her friends and doing whatever, it was more important than to accumulate a little bit of money. And who knows, maybe she made the right decision, maybe whatever. But if you want to get out of poverty, you have to do what it takes. A person starting from zero, the only thing that they have whenever they don't have high skills is their time. So they have to trade their time for money. And this is a very bad financial situation when you are trading your time for money. And I still do it. I work as a photographer and I trade my time for money. Okay, but this is the worst financial situation in which you can be. The best thing is to start getting out of this rut and start getting skills, so you can at least sell your time for more money, and to start shifting from time incentive to capital. So there are many places online where you can sharpen your skills. There is Udemy, there is Coursera, there are YouTube. YouTube has been my teacher for so many years. There are so many places where you can improve your skills for free. If you work in a big corporation like Amazon, Walmart, any of the banks, they offer programs for the employees to continue improving themselves. So you have to take advantage of all these opportunities. And I tell you, let's say you are a young person, you're working as a cashier in Walmart, and you could say, well, I have a rough life, the circumstances have led me to where the only thing I can do is to work as a cashier for Walmart. And that's fair, that's a fair argument. But if 5 years had gone by and you're still working as a cashier for Walmart, don't blame Walmart for your circumstances. Don't blame society. Don't blame the government. You had enough time to take some of the courses offered by Walmart and get higher in that ladder. So at one time, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, can I do more? And the answer is generally yes. Okay, so I like to share with you my formula to get out of poverty. So number 1, cut all the costs. Okay, so all these fashionable clothes, all these expensive gadgets, all these latest phones and watches and whatever, jewelry, whatever. Cut all that stuff, okay? All that stuff is just negative cash flow. Cut it out. If you don't need a car, do out without a car. I have a bicycle, I don't have a car. Stop eating out. Stop having drinks with friends. go to get I don't know, coupons to buy your food, or go to Goodwill for your food. Do whatever it takes to eliminate your costs almost to as close as possible to zero. You go to work, you go home, and if you can, stay with your parents. Say, Mom, Dad, I just need to stay with you 1 or 2 more years until I build my savings to do X. So stay with your parents, whatever. Or if you cannot stay with your parents, then share an apartment with roommates. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so number 2, increase your income. Okay, so get not only your regular job, but get another job, and then after that start educating yourself, working on your next skills. And I like to tell you, one time for many years I worked as a dance teacher, and a dance teacher is not a high-paying job. I was doing well, but that's not a high-paying job. So I was working as a dance teacher, and then at that time I already started running Airbnb properties. So I was working as a dance teacher. I was running 3 Airbnb properties, and I was working as an Uber driver. So dance teaching, Airbnb, and Uber. And after all that, I was studying finances in order to figure out how the stock market worked, in order to find out what was the best investment that I could make. And with my low level skills of being an Uber driver, cleaning houses for Airbnb, and teaching dance, I was earning already over $100,000 a year. So if I did it with low level skills, many people can find other opportunities to do it themselves. Okay, now you have reduced costs, you have increased your income. The next stage in your life is to start investing, and there are so many ways you can invest. You can invest in yourself through education. Every cent that you spend educating yourself is well invested. But also start investing in the stock market. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to put money in the Standard & Poor's 500, and that gives an average return of about 8%. Sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes it's negative, but over the long run, this is what you can expect. And if you have $1,000 or $2,000, it doesn't mean much. But when you get to $1 million, to get $80,000 per year, that's without doing anything, nothing, nada, zero. That feels good. That feels very nice. Okay, now, things that you can do to help achieve your goals. Okay, one thing that is very important is to choose carefully the people you associate with. Okay, you don't want to hang out with losers, people who are always getting drunk every weekend, people who are, I don't know, trying to get high or do this and the other one, play video games, whatever the thing is. You don't want to hang out with those people. You want to hang out with people who are thinking about the next step in their life, the next education goal, the next investment, the next whatever. This is the persons, the people, and I have created a group called Solopreneurs Montreal, where I try to gather these people together, and you can go and check them out and spend times with people who have the same ambition as you. So this could help you out, instead of just eating high calorie foods, drinking beer and getting high and watching Netflix, whatever people do. Then no, go to networking events, associate yourself with people who are ambitious, where you are the dumbest person in the room, and those people around you are your inspiration. So that's number 1. Number 2, in the same category more or less, is to choose your partner carefully. Okay, so if you are in this growth mindset, and your partner is in another kind of a state of their life, let's say you like to save money and your partner wants to spend it, you like to stay sober and your partner likes to stay high, then it's not going to be a killer on your wealth, but it's going to slow you down tremendously. So choose your partner carefully. And number three, go on an information diet. Consume material that is going to constantly motivate you to improve yourself, to strive for a higher goal. I listen to podcasts almost every day of people who I admire about investment strategies, about how to stay pumped, how to stay motivated. And instead of, I don't know, I guess you could listen to sports and see who wins the basketball or the football game or whatever. So, I mean, it's up to you, but I feel motivated to earn more, to help others when I'm going into this kind of information diet. So, I know some of these examples are extreme, but that's what it takes. You want to get out of poverty, it takes a lot of effort to get out of poverty. Otherwise, well, stay comfortable in your discomfort. Thank you so much for listening, and believe me, if you want to stop being poor, you can do it too. Goodbye.